This amendment says what we Eurosceptics have been saying all along, that the European Union produces its laws in a form of gobbledygook, of stentorian, sesquipedalian sentences that nobody can ever understand, and therefore when it's brought into British law, it should be brought into British law in a form that requires a plain English translation. I wonder... No deal is off the table, and yet, for some reason, the opposition still doesn't want a general election.
People like the member for, what his name now, member for Somerset, you know, Moggy, he said we should have a second...
Oh dear, oh dear. The honourable gentleman shouldn't refer to a colleague in that way. I think the person he has in mind is the honourable gentleman, the member for North East Somerset.
You see, we like to do things at the proper pace. We like to put carts behind horses rather than in front of them as a general rule, rather than having carts and horses misaligned.
The current Leader of the House is rapidly building a strong claim to the title of the worst holder of the job in living memory. He is supposed to be the voice of the government and the Commons in government, as well as a member of the government, and he's failing dismally at that task.
The Honourable Lady so overstates that she undervalues, that what she has said is so overcooked, exaggerated, we poor members, we couldn't queue for a little time to do our public duty. How hard was it? It was very amusing reading in the Times how some members were quite incapable of walking in the right direction, but I think that's more their problem than mine. Mr. Speaker, earlier today I was actually praising the Right Honourable Gentleman, the Leader of the Opposition, and today I'm able to quote him because his words are words of wisdom. He said on the 24th of September 2019, exactly 1 month ago, this crisis can only be settled with a general election. That election needs to take place as soon as this government's threat of a disastrous no deal is taken off the table. We have met the condition he set. The Prime Minister has got a deal. No deal is off the table, and yet, for some reason, the opposition still doesn't want a general election. But, Mr. Speaker, we know why this is. We know why they won't have an election. It's because they're afraid of the voters. So alienated are the voters, so feeling disenfranchised are they with their socialist friends that the socialists are running away from an election.